Abby, and this is VG Buzz.
Today we're going to be talking about the tragedies that took place in 2021.
If you weren't aware, we had several tornadoes come through Bowling Green, Kentucky, and destroy many businesses and homes. So first up, we're going to be showing the interview we did with Officer Wheat, our school's first responder during
Officer Wheat.
And today we're going to talk about his experiences during the natural disaster in 2021. When you first heard of the catastrophes the tornado caused, what was the first thing you did to try to help the community?
I didn't know the extent of it at that point. So I live in Allen County, and I had to drive to the police department to get my police car. And as I entered Bowling Green, everything seemed fine. Like coming in from Scottsville, Scottsville Road, the lights were on, there were no damage. But when I made it to Broadway and the bypass, it hit me with like a ton of bricks, really, because there was a van turned completely upside down on its roof, laying in the center of Broadway and the bypass. So I knew then, hey, this is a bigger deal than what I thought. I finally made my way to the police department. Once I got there, there was another supervisor in the back lot, and I asked him, hey, where's the hardest hit area? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And he said, well, Creekwood, the subdivision at Creekwood is the hardest hit area. And he said, we've just started to find bodies there. My role initially, though, since they had so much resources there, was to start checking other parts of town. So I went to the Fairview side, which is my normal patrol area, and just started to go door to door on homes that I found damaged to see if there were any other victims or people needed help in any way, and just try to assist any way that I could.
How did you end up helping the injured people that you found, going door to door to house?
So in the area that I responded to initially, thankfully there weren't any, there wasn't any loss of life. There were some minor injuries. By the time that I arrived, the sun had already come up and people had been responding all night. So I was, I guess, late to the party, if you will. Most of the people, neighbors, friends, and family had already assisted most of those people. Now, as the days and weeks went along, we were broken up into groups where we responded to what we called Ground Zero, which was that Creekwood neighborhood, and we assisted with search and rescue because only about half of the initial victims were found within the first 24 hours. One thing that I really learned through this terrible tragedy for our community is how willing people were to assist in any way that they were capable of. I know contractors. I have close friends who have their own private contracting equipment, bulldozers, all these different things. They were able to come and get trees off people's houses. They were, volunteering around the clock, not getting paid like I was, but they were still just as willing to come and help the community in however they saw fit or were capable of doing. So although it was a terrible thing, it also brought out the best in our citizens and the people of this community. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
It was really great hearing from Officer Wheat. Handing us a new perspective on the situation was really appreciated.
Next, we're going to be interviewing Patrick O'Rourke, seeing how it affected him.
Thank you, Mr. O'Rourke, for being here with us today. Can you please explain to us your experiences and how it affected you?
I guess it was about 1:30 in the morning. My wife and I, both of our phones went off at the same time with the emergency notification. We got the kids downstairs, and I remember that night, I remember feeling the pressure drop, the air getting sucked out of the house. I remember the noise outside and the breaking glass and the rumbling and shaking and the hearing of big, heavy, hard things at the house. We went up, 5 trees got thrown up against our house. And, my wife's car got smashed, and it was really pretty scary. Honestly, I probably rushed it a little bit. I probably tried to get back in the house before we really should have, because I wanted to get things back to normal.
We'd like to thank Mr. O'Rourke for his time today and letting us interview him.
Well, thank you, ladies, for giving me a chance to share my experience.
It was great hearing about Mr. O'Rourke's experiences.
Now we're going to hear from Miss Elisa Baker.
Hi, my name is Elisa Baker, and I'm a teacher at Bowling Green High School.
Can you explain to us how the tornado affected you?
Yes, so during the tornado, I was impacted pretty severely. I lost everything. It destroyed my home, took all of my stuff, and I was in the home when it happened, so there was quite a bit of trauma. I ended up doing a lot of therapy because I ended up with panic attacks and some PTSD from it. I had multiple therapists for different parts of it to kind of cope with everything. The staff and students here were all really supportive. Immediately following the tornado, it was really nice because some of the students involved in Baby Club, which I sponsored at the time, and a bunch of the staff came out and helped me clean up and salvage what could be salvaged. it made for some really good stories afterward of being able to, talk about how I climbed over my roof and through a window to get out of my house. I think the biggest takeaway for me from it was just how well our community came together, but everybody just rallied around one another. And it was really, really nice to see that part of it, for all of the love and support I felt afterward.
Did you stay anywhere during the time you were getting a new house?
I stayed in a hotel for about, the tornado was December 11th, so for about 2 months I lived in a hotel. Staying in a hotel for 2 months was not fun.
I wouldn't imagine so.
It never felt like home. And so that was a big adjustment.
That's one of the things that Mr. Work was also talking about, is that it took him so long. He said that he thinks he rushed getting back to a normal place, where he feels that him and his family could go and be a family again. And I'm seeing that you as well feel that way.
Wanting to get back to normal and get back to a routine.
We'd like to thank Ms. Baker for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
While bringing attention to our community's experiences, the common thing that we've learned between them is that we're still being affected 4 years later.
One positive thing that came out of this disaster was our community was brought closer together. It's important to know that their voices matter.